This is a
Good time, Charlie?
production.
On your marks, get set, play.
I love that.
Good favor.
That I really like.
That is delicious.
Welcome back to the 10th. It's Patisserie. It's a great British Bake Off podcast. I am joined as always by the homies. It's Nick Jew.
Y'all mad or not?
No, not at all.
I just wanted to see what type of show we were about to have.
But of course, it's the 216 songs. What's the word, sir?
I was fine with it, even though I was missing.
Yeah. It is Series of 14, Episode 9. It's the semifinals. Patisserie Week. 57 minutes with no damn Allison. I mean, if I don't got no Allison, I don't even got a fun intro to discuss with you because they can't do one without her.
Yeah, I'm glad they did.
Went right to the theme song.
Yeah, it was very upsetting. How they described it was Allison's doing poorly this week. And I was like, I like the way the English say somebody's sick. And if Allison ain't there, it just meant Allison got COVID. We all know how this goes. So it just means she tested positive, but it's probably already vaccinated, which means she had to stay home for 5 days, which is about a week, which is just exactly what everything has to work out as. And so we are short one Allison this week, and it is noticeable, but I wasn't too whatever about it, too saddened about the situation.
Yeah, because we still had the voiceovers for.
Oh, for sure, yeah, because she still came and did the VO work, so that was actually pretty dope. Our 4 remaining bakers in the tent are Dan Cazador, Josh Smalley, Matty Edjo, and Tash Stone. It's a good time to be a fan of Bake Off, y'all. I promise you, this might be up there with one of my favorite seasons because these bakers was baking. Prue pointed out in this episode how every baker remaining in the tent had been Star Baker at least once, and in fact, everybody had been Star Baker twice, with the exception of Josh. At that point in time. And I was like, God damn. So these is the bakers is who remains, and I gets down with the get down on that.
I was about to say no justice for Jurgen after that one, Nick.
No.
But every week we snag your little news story, share you with some bits and pieces of it, and hopefully you enjoy it. And we call that segment "Bakers Make the World Go Round." And then you hear my dog coughing in the background. You wonder, what was that noise? It was my dog coughing in the background. Will it be in the final record? I don't even know if it picked up. Maybe. But then I push play. Bakers make the world go round.
That sounds so rhythmic.
It sound what?
That sounds so rhythmic. Your dog walking away.
Yeah, we didn't get the song. We just got the dog walking away.
Fascinating. Well, don't worry, y'all. I definitely played the song, and it'll definitely be in the show when you hear it. Because again, I put it in manually every week. I just play it for them to hear it. And I'm sorry y'all didn't get to experience that this week in the semifinals. The semifinals. Got you a news story this week. This was from the website Reality Blurred, which I assume is reality TV. Oh, it is. Reality TV reviews and news and analysis since 2000. So there you go. And this is Andy Den. Oh, I guess I just reached the title of the article. The Great British Bake Off's time calls are fake. Andy Denhart's on the byline. Let's read. Let's read a little bit. New Great British Bake Off co-host Alison Hammond, whose one reason why this season is such a delight, delivered her first time call in the tent with excitement, but without distraction. Your first ever time call, Noel Fielding told her. She replied, "Can I do it? Is that all right?" She took a beat and exclaimed, "Bakers, you're halfway through. You have 1 hour left." The Bakers did not hear her say that, nor was she calling that out during a challenge when just 1 hour remained. That's because the host's time calls on the Great British Baking Show, as it's known in the States and on Netflix, are created for our entertainment only.
Oh.
To start, the time calls delivered by the co-hosts don't accurately represent the amount of time remaining in the challenge. That's pretty standard for baking and cooking competitions. Like all reality TV shows, the Great British Bake Off is edited to condense time. The way baking competitions create tension and drama at the end of a bake is to suggest a contestant is doing something with just seconds left, though in reality, that footage is from earlier in the challenge.
Oh.
More interestingly,
That makes sense. Because the people are always like, how much time do we have left? And then the time call just happens.
Yeah. More interestingly, though, the Great British Baking Show hosts time calls bits are filmed when the bakers are not even in the tent. I learned this from Sticky Bun Boys, the great, very queer recap podcast hosted by GBBO's season 10 winner David Atherton and season 10 contestant Michael Chakravarty. In their episode Pumped, which previews season 14's cast, Michael says, "Here's some tea they aren't going to like us spilling. Most of the time calls are filmed when you aren't even in the tent." See, that word "most" is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Whenever we're standing at the front of the tent and doing calls, we're not there. Or like sometimes toward the end, they get quite cocky and they'd film them as we left, and we'd have to be quiet. David said that on the rare occasion when they filmed a time call while the contestants were there, meaning it happens, so this article is already selling me a false premise, someone usually does an announcement first and says, "Guys, we know there's 2 hours left. We're just going to be doing the time call for 1 hour. Don't get scared." One good thing about this is it means the bits that the hosts do are not taking up time or space during the actual baking time.
Mm-hmm.
Alison Hammond and Noel Fielding have toned down considerably those previous hosting duos. They have toned those down considerably. Okay. Though previous hosting duos did more elaborate time call bits. They were the worst under Matt Lucas and Noel Fielding last season. Disagree.
Oh, wow. That's not nice.
Every time I hear shit like this, I'm like, yeah, okay, y'all hate it. Deciders Megan O'Keefe wrote about their chaotic time call-outs last fall, saying they are stressing the bakers out. Sometimes the hosts and producers are predicting during filming and then referenced in a bit. Matt Lucas said, "So the show's been getting a few letters of complaint. We've been stressing the bakers out a little bit with our time calls. It's like they knew it was going to happen. And we needed to be a little more soothing. So I've been practicing, okay? A kind of soothing time call." Then, as Megan writes, he shrieks in the most obnoxious voice imaginable. As annoying as that was, it's great the contestants aren't actually bothered by these bits. There's a little more to be read there. But I'm just like, do you think we're idiots?
Yeah.
Like, we all watch reality TV. We know how this works. It's editing and this, that, and the third. But I found that article to be like, okay, buddy.
It does surprise me to know that sometimes they film those that when the bakers are not in the tent. That does surprise me.
I'm not going to say it's not happening. That person has a lived experience. He says in his season that shit didn't go down like that. But I've heard, like, and who knows? Like I said, they could have put it in post because I do a lot of shit in post myself. I have literally heard in the background a time call out being made while they're, in the tent
Talking
elsewhere.
To somebody.
And it'll be like, yeah. And so I'm like, can't call it. And like I said, easily placed in post. Sure thing, possible. But I'm going to be like, maybe not all seasons are filmed alike. And maybe not everything works like that all the time. So also, I don't think they would give two shits that you shared this information because we all know what the deal is.
Right.
It's TV, people. Settle down. That's in your show notes. Like I said, you can read the rest of it and see how you feel about the situation. But let us get to it. Semifinals. Patisserie Week. Exciting times. I was wondering, I was like, man, what are they going to do to really, I don't know, make this a semifinal? And I feel like they showed up right off the rip with your signature this week. 2 batches of 12 Financiers, which are, we'll get to it. 2 hours to complete. Having to make 2 separate batches of cakes and decorate them shits, I was like, that is a lot to ask of somebody in a small period of time. I'm like, yeah, that's some semifinal work right there. So I'm like, very, very cool to hear that. What I have for you about Financiers, originating in the Lorraine region of France, the name is derived from the rectangular mold they are baked in, which resembles gold bars. They are bite-sized brown butter almond tea cakes and should have a crisp exterior with a light and moist interior. Top is Dan, who's making fancy Financiers, 1 set flavored with matcha and pistachio, decorated with yuzu gel and tonka bean mousse. Tonka beans, as it turns out, banned for use in food here in the States since 1954 because in high concentrations, they can be toxic. The flavor is apparently a mix of vanilla, amaretto, almond, cinnamon, and clove, and is used in desserts, stews, and in fragrances. Let's work to tonka beans. His second set is orange and vanilla flavored, topped with macerated peach, fresh raspberries, and a little piece of mint is what it looked like, but that may have been a raspberry leaf. Can't call it. Josh is making perfect pudding Financiers. One is a Bakewell tart inspired. Bakewell tart is a classic English dessert made with short crust pastry, filled with jam and frangipan, and topped with flaked almonds. Josh's version, of course, will be topped with vanilla custard buttercream and topped with raspberries and the aforementioned flaked almonds. The second Financier is chocolate and orange, topped with chocolate buttercream and a chocolate shard. Matty's making pick-me-up Financiers. Matt's is making a coffee flavored one with a chocolate ganache center and topped with vanilla mascarpone cream. The other is a coconut, mango, and lime one decorated with mango puree and white chocolate coconut ganache. Tash is making fancy fruit and nut Financiers. One is a pistachio and raspberry, which is a pistachio sponge decorated with raspberry Swiss meringue buttercream and fresh raspberries. The other is a hazelnut and coffee topped with coffee chocolate ganache and little candied hazelnuts. And
which she had a lot of trouble with.
It was fun to watch. I don't know. It was just fun to watch them cook these up. I don't know. It's just something about it. I was like, this is pretty dope. I like what y'all got going. So, but also it's like, I'll tell you right, I'm letting you know off the rip. I knew what it was. This is the first one I had to go like, I have a feeling I need to know right now. And so I went and looked and I was like, yeah, it felt that way. So I normally will just allow myself to go through. And I was like, nope, this one I need to know ahead of time. So
what made you want to know so bad?
I knew it. I knew what it was. And I was just like, was salty off of it. Not salty. I was just more like, it really is about to go this way, ain't it? And then it did. Yeah. Everything about it just kind of it was giving it away. And I was like, yeah, something about this. Telling me what's telling me so.
So I was watching with my mom who's never seen the show. Yeah. And by the technical, she was like, oh, girl about to go home.
So do you guys think when they edit it like that, is it for us for the first watch, or do you think it's for the second watch?
I don't know that they bank on people watching more than one.
Yeah, we're weirdos.
Yeah.
Think about most people watch this show and then move on with their life. You know what I'm saying? We are over here focused on it and putting the energy out on it. So
because when I go through it the second time, it is very obvious. It's like, hey, while Prue is mentioning how to do it, or during the technical, it's squarely on Tasha's face. So it's always like, oh yeah, that second watch is like watching Memento.
I think the best shows do the loser and winner edits very subtly.
Yeah.
And I noticed them only on a second watch. It's very rare that I'm watching a show for the first time and be like, oh, she's gonna go home. She's gonna go home. Yeah.
Nah, man, it was I'm not saying it was necessarily and here in technical, but signature, forgive me, but in technical, I was just like, everything about this is bad. But we'll get there, people. Sorry. Advance notice on the situation. Our judging works out like this. Matty looks good. Uniform, pretty strong. Good flavor. Slightly overbaked on the chocolate one. Mango, coconut, lime flavor is so good. Better bake on this one. But you just didn't have to make them so thick. Too much cake versus topping, but very grown-up flavors. They is sunning Matty a lot on this show now that I look back at it. And he seems to be chill with the vibes, but I'm like, you got to stop that. Because he is
How old is he?
27.
Oh, he's a grown-ass man.
Same age as Tosh. Same age as I think Josh as well. So I'm like, y'all got to chill, bruh. Josh, a little tall. Because him and Matty, of course, actually, wait a minute. See, I skipped Tasha. Sorry. Tasha, first glance, they look lovely. Second glance, they look like you dropped one or two. It was like, it's probably right there. Paul thinks they look rough. The coffee ones he thinks are beautiful looking, absolutely delicious, melts in your mouth flavor, spot on, bake is perfect. Pistachio one, Prue loves the flavor, but slightly overbaked and could have been neater. Josh, a little tall, and that's because him and Matty.
Her, whatchamacallit, curdled.
Yeah.
But she knew that. She actually, actually, they didn't even bring that up.
They didn't even bring it up.
Yeah, she said the raspberry curdles the buttercream, so it's like she's aware of it. I guess if you know about it, and that means it's doing what you wanted to do. But the reason Josh is at hall is because him and Matty used deeper tins and filled them shits all the way up, and they didn't have to. They could have just filled them halfway up; it would have been just fine. So they are described as a little tall. The Bakewell one has too much extract. You're just supposed to put a little bit of a little almond in there, and Prue was like, "Nah, that's too much." And Paul's like, "Yeah." So you just want a hint of it, which be some bullshit because other people will put a hint of something. They're like, I need more of it. Like, which one is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The chocolate flavor is delicious, but slightly dry. Dan, neat, beautiful. The Japanese one is beautiful. The peach one is handshake worthy. Beautiful, really nice. A celebration of citrus. Beautifully baked, a triumph. My man went off. It was
Love to see it.
It was nice to see Dan in, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, y'all must have forgotten. I'm like, I didn't forget Dan, but thank you for letting other people know. So that is what's up. Your technical challenge this week, set by one Prue Leith, is a Tarte aux Pommes. Even knowing French, you know what those words mean. Like that all works, right? Tarte of
apple.
Pomme, apple. You know what I'm saying? It just all works. Those are some words that just make sense in the mind. 2.5 hours to complete. Unlike Paul, which we discussed last week, Prue made her favorite a technical. So, you know what I'm saying? Paul mad about sausage rolls. Could have just made it a technical. You could have had perfect sausage rolls. Prue was like, I'll not make the same mistake, sir. In case you're wondering, Calvados, because Prue mentions it, is apple brandy. So, my little drunk boo, Prue Leith, we out here.
African queen.
So, how does tart supposed to come together? You know, you got basically a nice short crust paste. It's not short crust though. I think it's a slightly. It's not laminated though either, is it? What kind of crust was that?
They said whatever it was, it couldn't be a quick something. What was it?
I don't remember.
What's her name made it last week?
It did. No, Rough Puff is in your Showstopper. This
Showstopper.
One, yeah. This one, it was whatever they described it as. They did say that shit had to be in the oven for 40 minutes, and once again, it's like this time is so real and so important, and they be getting it so wrong. So judgment went as follows. Dan's up top, a bit of a split, clumsy. Pastry's nice and properly baked.
And he put his apples in the wrong way.
Matty,
a concentric circle. What is hard about that?
bruh. And now I've seen like multiple pictures of these made. And let's say made, I'm going to go with properly.
Yeah.
And it is wild the designs people pull off with their apples. I'm just telling you no. Matty, quite neat. The apples are beautifully arranged. Pastry needed longer in the oven. Tasha, a disaster.
Oh no!
Ooh, shit.
Looks messy. No color on the pastry. Very raw. Flavor's okay. Fucking cares. Just lie to me. Don't even tell me the flavor is okay at that point.
Right.
Shit
The
tastes
whole
like
thing is garbage.
Yeah, it tastes like trash. Don't even bother. Josh, quite neat. Bit of a split, but it melts in the mouth. Delicious. Apples beautifully arranged, thinly sliced.
off.
Lovely. Yeah,
Go off. You have a little rose in the middle. Go off.
My man's has never won a technical.
Has not.
And in fact, and usually is in the bottom of the table. So to see him come through, I was like, all right, Joshy, I see you. The ranking is, of course, as followed. Tasha, big problem with the pastry. 3,
That shit
Dan.
was splitting, falling apart. It was everywhere.
It was bad, y'all. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Dan, looked a bit clumsy. The pastry cracked a little bit, but delicious. Number 2, Matty, pretty good. Very neat. Needed just a little longer in the oven. 1 is, of course, my man Josh. Best one. Absolutely lovely. I love that description. Best one.
Killed it.
Yeah. Showstopper. Nick, you showstopped this week. So I find this interesting.
No.
Was it the dish itself or the work people put in?
Both. Because the dish itself, there was really not a lot of potential for it to be show-stopping. It was like, here go a cracker and some cream and some fruit and another cracker, and then just keep making the layers.
I want you to know, I've had this dish before. And we have a little fancy little fly French restaurant in town that me and Vanessa have gone to a couple of times in life. Only a couple of times. Don't ever get it twisted. And this is on the dessert menu one night. And, or at least the French version. And that shit is amazing.
Was that an albatross?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it the flaky, delicious layers?
Yes.
Okay.
That shit. It's like Frosted Flakes.
Oh. Okay.
With this amazing cream betwixt, you know what I'm saying? It's wild good. Showstopper this week is a Millefoglie. 4 hours to complete. A Millefoglie is the Italian version of the French millefeuille. I want y'all to hear how this is actually pronounced, just in case y'all think I'm fucking up on some wild shit. So don't worry. T was prepared. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't click the button. System audio. This is why y'all didn't hear shit. That's what it was. Share, but I'm going to give you this right here. So let's all listen.
In French, this would be pronounced millefeuille. Millefeuille. The S at the end of feuille is definitely silent. Millefeuille. But in English or American, this is generally pronounced millefeuille.
We ain't making the French one. We're making the Italian one, which is the exact same dish multiple times through all of Europe. They just want to be like, oh, mine different. But just in case you're wondering, millefeuille means 1,000 layers and refers to the many delicate layers of pastry in the dessert. The Millefoglie, it's the Italian one. Cream cake consists of light flaky layers of puff pastry layered with rich custard. Unlike last week where you could make a rough puff pastry, this week they require a proper puff pastry, and that is a lot of work. 4 hours to make this is bullshit. But can't be bullshit because most bakers pulled it off just fine. In fact, all of them actually pulled it off. Just some better than others. Dan, I feel like really was showing out this week, y'all.
He really was.
Yeah, he was
really
going for a hypersonic is what he described his Millefoglie as. Shaped like the body of a guitar. The flavors are meant to be inspired by tiramisu with layers of chocolate creme diplomat and amaretto mousse, topped with a bright blue mirror glaze to look like a shiny Fender guitar. Tosh is going for a mango mojito Millefoglie. Tosh decided to experiment on Thanksgiving and do an inverse. And do an inverse puff pastry where the butter is placed on the outside of the dough. The cake itself will be filled with layers of lime and mint mojito mousse. The mango curd topped with a white chocolate cup with a mango rose in it. Matty's going for a little taste of Italy, a Millefoglie based on another Italian dessert, the Zabiglione. I don't know how to pronounce that one. I'm sorry, y'all. I looked it up, but I was whatever. I only looked it up because I wanted to know what the hell was going on with my man. Matty, I watched Matty giggle himself out of it's Matty got a lot of imposter syndrome. It's obvious. Mm-hmm. He's just not believing in himself. And anyway, which is basically a boozy custard. Basically, I went and looked this up. That's what it is. It's a imagine if you will a perfect custard, but it's got a little booze in it. If you make it right, you get a little boozy custard. He's including 3 Italian tipples, as they describe them, to flavor his different creme diplomats. It's a limoncello one, a marsala one, and an amaretto one. He's going to drizzle with lemon and plum curds. So it's going to be an amaretto and lemon creme diplomat, a limoncello and plum creme diplomat, and a marsala and peach creme diplomat that he stacks in what is looking basically like a wedding cake, like a 3-tiered situation. Sound ideal. So I really was like, okay, Matty, I see you. Josh, lemon, blackberry, and blackcurrant Millefoglie filled with lemon creme diplomat, blackberry curd, and blackberry jam. Decorated with homegrown berries and piped buttercream flowers. As always, dedicated to his nan. R.I.P. to her. What I found fascinating about this one was Tasha's ideal was like, this shit can't work. And then it's Tasha baking, she's like, this shit is not working. And then that bitch go in the oven and knows, like, who knows, man? Shit be going down the oven. You'll be magic sometime. And don't you know, sure as shit, it get in the oven, and as it's baking, she's like, oh my God, look, layers. It's like, yeah. I mean, if you studied this shit, I feel like you should have known that. Don't do this without knowing it. That's crazy to me.
Right.
And that look, it ended up looking like, oh, bro, one hit away, Bleak. She really could have. It really worked out well. So well that I was like, yo, that's like something that might be something people should do going forward. And probably there are people doing it, but I mean, just
it's like the second time that she's uncovered a great innovation. The first one was on purpose, but because of her disability. But this one was by complete accident.
That's something dope, y'all. Let us judge. Josh is up top. A thing of beauty. Lamination exceptional. Flat with no dips. Amazing job on the pastry. Paul thinks it's slightly overbaked. Prue is like, I don't often disagree with Mr. Hollywood, but in this case, I don't think it's overbaked. That shit was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Very pretty.
Simple shit. I didn't feel like it was like so out of pocket or anything like that there, but it was pretty. That's kind of a couple of times I've seen Josh do this where he'll just be like, I'm going to do this right. and like last week with them
last week.
Yeah, with them damn like a party platter. Yeah. Same thing.
The snowman macarons. They were exquisite and so simple and perfect.
And what you got better than that there? Dan, because his chocolate filling is heavier than the other one, the mousse layer, it ends up being the chocolate squeezes out the mousse, and it makes for a messy looking bake. Exceptional decoration, imaginative. Love the shape. The lamination and flake is good. The cream is delicious. The flavors are fantastic. A tiramisu feel to it. The coffee, just the right level. The mirror glaze, however, doesn't work. Looks beautiful, but it's very rubbery. Every time I see a mirror glaze on this show and in life, I know how much gelatin is in it and how gross it always looks. They be just peeling that shit. It's gross. No, thank you. Matty, it does look like a celebration. The problem is the type of pans he uses, these cake tins, squash the pastry in a way that didn't give them the room they needed to kind of spread out and crisp up. Paul doesn't like the pastry. It's a bit rubbery. Should have baked longer. But they love the flavors. Those are indeed spot on. Tasha, they like the pipework, like the decoration, but it's not particularly square. Great lamination, incredible flaking, beautifully. Looks delicious. Mango and curd, very grainy. Tastes lovely, but not silky smooth. Done well with the lamination. Flavor's good. Mango curd just wasn't right. And of course, it wasn't shaped right because so what she should have done is probably cut out with a ruler and cut that bitch like to a perfect look. It's just, work had to be done and work was not done. And because of that, your star baker this week is Josh. Earned.
Whoop.
Hands down. It can never be said to anything to the contrary. Sent home this week was Tash. Earned. Just as much. A absolutely terrible technical and a middling signature and a middling showstopper. And just up against these gentlemen, it could not compete. It did not compete. And they sent my girl home on her birthday. Now, you recall I was like trying to figure out when the fuck they was filming this. Because I knew Tash was gone, you know what the word is. I can immediately follow her on Instagram. Tash was talking about how Abby hit her up on her birthday, which is the day she had left the tent, and that she couldn't say shit about it because, of course, you know what I'm saying, she's still on the show. And her birthday is in July.
Oh.
Okay. That's why I'd be so hot in that bitch.
This show was filmed in the hot times, and we know that now. So I like having that little data point to base off, which means the article I had from, I believe, the Daily Mail, which could be on some bullshit, is wrong. Talking about it was filmed in late February and early March. Something may have been filmed that time, but this shit was not.
Right.
Yeah.
And they might do like 2 a year, so maybe one of the seasons in the year is filmed that time, but this one wasn't.
Yeah. So that was a good little bit of information to arrive upon. The final has occurred already. I woke up this morning and watched the whole damn thing.
Oh,
you've seen it.
So you know who won? Of course.
I do. So I knew I couldn't fuck around on this one and wait till Friday because something was going. Well, again, because I follow all these bake-off bakers now, they be not a fuck to be given. They show come on a Tuesday in England, and that's when they letting you know what went down. So I am fully aware how the finals went down. It is an amazing show, and I can't wait to discuss with y'all further.
So pretending like you haven't seen it, I feel really great about the 3 bakers going to the final.
Yes.
I remember I said early on that we had to watch out for Matty. And I've always been Team Josh, and then the resurgence of Handsome Dan. So any of the 3 of them could win. I would probably be a little shocked if Matty won, but if Josh or Dan took it, I would not be upset at all.
Fair. I get down with it. It is just. I was talking to Ant, and I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen just 3 dudes in the final. And if it has happened in the past, let me know. Oh shit, we were supposed to talk about something. Forgot all about it. Even though I literally said we're gonna talk about this. Let me pull up my Instagram.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
We do, because this when you get down this few bakers,
because we
ain't much to discuss.
Yeah, we didn't talk about something major that happened.
Well, go on, man. You here too? It's your show.
The handshake.
Oh shit! How we roll right over my? Oh no, I did say it. Yeah. I did say it. I did mention it in my because it's written down in my notes. Handshake worthy is what my writing states. So yes, indeed, my man Dan.
You did it. Yes. But we didn't discuss it. Like
we didn't talk about it. Yeah,
I tried to find. I was Googling. I tried to find a supercut of all the handshakes, but that thing doesn't exist, as far as I could find. Maybe I should have used Bing.
your preferred search engine.
We did get a breakdown of demographics of the handshake.
So let's break it down so it can forever be broken. This popped up in my suggestions on Instagram the other day, and so I sent it to the team. Was like, we gonna talk about this, and didn't think shit about it again until just now. This is from GBBO Data on Instagram. They don't have a website or anything like this. This is what they do. They post on Instagram and they, I guess, put up graphics. And they discuss how this week, Dan Cazador 9, I guess I can follow Dan if I'm so inclined, received the 5th Hollywood handshake of the season for his signature bake of Fancy Financiers. Dan's handshake was the 53rd handshake Paul has given. Handshakes are given during the signature challenge 90% of the time. But in 4 instances, 8% of the time, Paul gave a handshake in the Showstopper challenge.
Sure did.
No one has ever gotten a handshake in the technical.
Well,
Paul has given handshakes in the final before, but only once in Series 7 when Candace and Jane received handshakes. On average, there are 4.4 handshakes given out each season. Series 9 had the most handshakes, 12.
Oh,
Crazy. While Series 8 and 12 are tied for second with 7. This year has the 4th most ever. Ryan Chong received the first Hollywood handshake in week 7 of Series 3 and was eliminated later in that episode.
Oh, wow. Easy come, easy go.
Whoa.
Good man. 52 handshakes later, Ryan remains the only person to receive a handshake and go home in the same episode.
I was sue.
Though Jane Beadle received a handshake in Series 7 final, but did not win. Men have received...
How you gonna give me a handshake and then send me home?
That means you did real well in one in signature and not the rest of that show.
If I did good enough to get a handshake, I mean, we could talk about me going home, but I should go. Right.
Men have received 29 handshakes, 55%, while women have received 24, 45%.
Okay.
Handshakes have been given out in 28% of the episodes. Most commonly, only one person gets a handshake, which happens in 19% of episodes. 8 times, Paul has given out 2 handshakes, 6% of episodes, and 4 times he's given out 3 handshakes in 1 episode, 3% of episodes. Raul Mondo, season 9, and Dan Beasley, Harling, season 9, both received 3 handshakes, which is more than any other contestant. 8 bakers have received 2. 24% of bakers have received a handshake.
John was beating their ass that season. I kind of want to rewatch that season.
John Waite, season 3, and Nancy Birthwhistle, man, English names, season 5, are the only winners since the introduction of the handshake in Series 3 to never receive one. Wait a minute, what?
They won, but
are
didn't
the
get
only
a handshake.
winners?
Yeah.
Okay, to have not gotten a handshake. Josh, Dan, and Matty have all received a handshake, so there's not that can't happen this go around. Follow for more data like this, and
interesting.
That is.
They were like he went wild in season 9 in the comments here because like it was a 12 handshake, but season 9 was Raul's season, and it was some real ass bacon G's up in that tent that year. It has to be respected. I love people complaining like he give too many handshakes. I'm like,
so stupid.
Maybe 3 times you could argue. Okay, there's 2 seasons with 7 handshakes. There's 1 season with a dozen handshakes. The dozen does seem excessive.
Maybe he was happy. He was super happy that season.
Yeah, but if my man truly getting knocked out, I gotta respect it, man.
Right.
I find that amazing. I find all these data points amazing. If I could probably link to this, right? Yeah, copy link. I will put that in your show notes so you yourself can read over this and not deal with having to hear me do the dude. So, add that to your notes right this instant. It'll be listed as Hollywood Handshake. There you go. Oh, to the good people. Let's see. Anything else about this one? Yeah, let's dig through all over the place. So I wake up this morning to Nick Jew tagging me on something. I'm like, what the hell is going on Twitter this morning? We don't even talk on Twitter like this no more. Twitter kind of falling off. But it was really not really, but it was also Miss Junie Moe hitting up Nick to let her know that KP is amongst her favorite podcasts on her Spotify Wrapped. Has listened to 659 minutes of our show and is a top 12% fan. And Nick, of course, replied, "You love to see it, and thanks for listening." And I was like, "Word up, thanks for the support." And Miss June was like, "That is
the wonderful Miss June from Harlem, June Moses, everybody."
That is what's up. And she said, "Absolutely love the commentary, especially Bakers Make the World Go Round." I'm not joking when I tell y'all. Well, like I said, my co-hosts, of course, know and understand this. I'm out here. I'm putting in work, but I do it because I love to do it. I love giving a little data. I love becoming like a little baker teacher situation. You know what I'm saying? Sharing all the information I can find. It's a good time to be had, y'all. And I'm glad it speaks to y'all in some way, shape, or form. And
it's
thank
like
you for
they
listening.
used to do it on the show when they would just give you a little moment of history.
They hadn't done it since they left the BBC, which probably was a requirement of being on the BBC. So I'm just picking up their mantle.
Right. Exactly.
On Spotify, I remember what I told you what the question of the week was going to be, and that was like, so Dan should have left, right? Again, right? Bevy19 on Spotify said, "I sent you an email, but yes." I'm going to publish that comment right now. And now now the surprise is broken on who sent us an email, but let me jump over to the email.
It ain't nothing wrong with getting that little corner off the present before Christmas.
This is Bev. And Bev says, "Hi, y'all. Couple of things. One, should Dan have gone home? Yeah. That boy skated at least twice now. Whether the editing is purposely done for drama to rile up the audience or the judging is actually biased, both results in the same thing. GBBO loses its sweetness." Oh. Okay. I hear you. This is indicative, though, of the major problem of GBBO. Either judge only the specific bakes prepared that weekend or judge the contestants' baking history. But freaking pick one and stick with it.
Tell it to RuPaul, girl. Tell it to Tyra Banks. It happens on every reality competition where it's not like Survivor or Big Brother. They sometimes, and word to my nigga Jurgen, sometimes they go back over the competition and make a decision when it's close based off of that.
Fair enough. Number 2, Paul's opinion and attitude toward the bakes is old and tiring. If he wants a sausage roll to be traditional, then have it as a technical challenge, not a signature.
Nick said as such.
This isn't the first time Paul shows his narrow and limited knowledge and palate. Matcha, tofu, yuzu, anything Mexican / Japanese / Moroccan, i.e. anything with spice, Paul can't handle it, and it's annoying.
Oh, we forgot to say that Paul really actually liked matcha this time.
Yeah, he went
matcha.
Well, like I said, handshake shit was going down out here, baby. Number 3, fruit in sausage. Depends on when you're eating the sausage. A little sweet apple, apricot, cranberry with some heat, chili, and some salt. Sausage is pretty yummy. Respect it. That's
Done
it
for me.
That's it. Love y'all and the podcast. I would totally dig if y'all would go back and review GBO from the beginning. I don't know if I'm doing that.
Yeah. Ooh.
I was just thinking about that. Like, if you guys want to go back and a certain group, like an episode or two, or like, hey, if you have an important episode or something you guys want us to check the game film, maybe. But a whole season would be rough.
And Netflix only goes back but so far, right? We don't have the very beginning.
Yeah. And I want to say, who has them originals? It might be Roku.
Yeah, because I know that it used to come on PBS.
Yeah. Jump over here to the old Roku channel and see.
I have to say, thank you so much for writing in. I love how grumpy Paul is. It's the perfect balance to prove.
Yes.
Like, he's just, to me, he's not like mean. I just think that he's stern. I think that he's like, this is my shit. Come correct or go home.
Daddy don't.
And Prue is there to balance him out to pull, bring the reins in sometimes when he get a little crazy.
Daddy don't play about his biscuits.
The Great British Baking Show. Let's see. Trying to see how many seasons are on here. Season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are available on the Roku channel. Season 1 had 8 episodes. Season 2 had 11 episodes. Season 3 had 16 episodes. Maybe they're throwing in the Christmas ones and shit. Season 7 only has 12 episodes. So I don't know. Maybe they threw in the bonus ones they do. But they are all available on the Roku with ads. So there you go. If you want to, if you yourself would like to get down, you should be getting a Roku device. Or just sign up for Roku and you watch them on your computer or your phone. I'm saying it's all good. They are there and you can enjoy it.
I tried very hard not to make a dirty joke about Paul liking biscuit. And
okay.
I would like to be congratulated.
You can be congratulated
for my work. My strength.
I know you
restraint.
I know you like blue humor.
Next week is the finals. And there's no overarching theme. It's just the finals. And so it is a good time to be had. Comes out here in the States. It came out by the time you heard this already. So you shall be able to enjoy it. And what else can I tell you about the old Bake Off situation? I don't know. It's great. I love the show. I am sad it's wrapping up. We was chatting about maybe doing this Great American Baking Show holiday special, but I don't know. Maybe. You get at least a couple of weeks off. Plus, okay, American Bake Off hopefully is already in the midst of being filmed and will come back sooner than later.
No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go.
I was going to say, I wonder if I really enjoyed the holiday show.
Yeah,
I liked Ellie Kemper, but I like who they put in instead of her this time.
Fair. Like I said, so that'll be a fun one to kind of get down with if we can make that happen.
I was going to say, if it takes too long for either one to come back, I think it'd be fun for us to do the first season, just the very first season.
The OG?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That way we can keep everybody, the feed running and so forth and so on. We'll square that one up. Let's aim for February.
Yeah. If we haven't heard anything by February, then we can jump on and do that.
That's what's up. So, like I said, we may do this Christmas one. If we don't all do it, me and Ann said do the Christmas one. Ain't no big deal. I'm saying, Nick, I'm not kicking you out. I'm just saying if you was like, I ain't doing that shit to me.
Yeah, I don't bang with the holiday baking shows. So
it's a holiday baking show, but it's only 1 hour. And it's I don't know. I would love for you to watch it because it's only one episode. Yeah.
It's not like a whole. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll. I'm gonna say we're gonna do it. I'll just beg.
I'm begging, baby.
I get the crossover.
You don't have to beg. Just I just need a couple weeks.
I got you. I will give you all the heads up you need.
Yeah. I need you to see the flirting in the episode. I need you to see it, Nick.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. This is, of course, this is going to be your last opportunity to get your ins and outs of this particular season in before next we record. So take advantage. Got something to say? Let us know. You got the phone. Oh, I guess I should probably share all those with you, shouldn't I? Because everybody's first time it could be listen to the show could be right now. So if you want to give us a call and or a text message, that option is there for both. Both are there. The phone number is 216-264-6311. Get on with the get on. You know what I'm saying? We good. You want to text us because you don't want to, you feel like you might stumble over your words or something, or you worried that your talking ain't gonna be as clear as it is. Because I'll be hearing some voicemails and people be like driving and so forth, and like it's breaking up, and I'm like, don't do that. Sit somewhere, get comfortable, make the phone call, and or just make a text message. But you can also email us podcast stagecrunchyMilk.com. Crunchy, of course, being spelled with a K. Also, you can communicate with us directly on Spotify like this. The show is hosted on Spotify, so it has a little more hooks built in over there for various situations. We did pretty well on our little Spotify recap that popped up. So props to us for doing what we do. And hopefully, because other people are discussing us, we will show up in even more. And I'm down for that cause. So get down with the get down. But that is Nick Jew.
I'll miss Tasha. She was a sweet girl, but she had a bad week. You have a bad week, you go home.
Especially this late in the game. Plus, she made it to the semis. Respectable showing. Yeah,
she did kind of fall off these last couple of weeks. So this is not a Jurgen situation where she was sent home the first time she slipped up.
Correct.
Yeah, and she left. She fell out and she was like, "Oh, I can't do
it." Ain't been right since she fainted in the tent. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
She came down and kicked the doors down. That is the 216 zone. Tatum 216.
Yes. I bake sometimes too. But nothing with creme in it.
You gotta get down some diplomat. I am the Internet 0713. Continue to bake with us, people. We'll do it again next week. Until then, peace.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.